Howdy everybody, I'm Johnny F, and this is my 2019 Forest River A122S ESP pop-up hard side camper. We just purchased this a couple weeks ago. We haven't had it out camping yet, but when I was looking into these and researching some other ones, you know, I went on YouTube and I found a bunch of videos on these, but they're all from dealers. They're like 5 to 7 minutes in length. And I didn't get all of the information I really wanted. I mean, it's good if I'm going to do some quick comparisons, but I wanted to know a lot more. So I figured now that I have one, I'd do an in-depth video. So if you're interested in one of these and you want to know a lot more than those other videos, or you want to have information to compare to older models or other manufacturers, then this is going to be the video for you. It's not going to be the 5-minute video. We're going to go through this thing, through this thing from top to bottom. On the outside, then we're going to pop it up and we're going to go through it on the inside, and I'm going to go through all the information that I have on this unit, all the web information I've researched, going through the manuals and everything else. I've got like 2 pages of notes here on questions and stuff that I had. So we're just going to try and go through that, not take too long, but go through it and get all those details that maybe you want to know about this thing. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start out and just go through some of the regular stats on this thing to give you an overview. It's a beautiful day here in western Colorado. We're actually going to get up to about 60. Most of the snow has melted, and I thought this is a great time to get out here. Let's go through the quick stats. Dry weight 2,272 pounds, so a little over a ton there. Dry hitch weight 290 pounds. Cargo capacity is 1,518 pounds, which makes the total weight capacity of this to be around almost like 3,800 pounds, which was interesting because I was originally going to pull this with a Ford Escape, and it had a 3,500 pound towing capacity. And when I was at the dealer and they looked it up and they were getting everything set up, I actually had to sign a little form that said that I understood that the weight capacity of this trailer was higher than the towing capacity of the vehicle. Now, 2,700 pounds dry weight, I'm not going to be adding, this other 1,500 pounds of weight to this thing. So I was never going to exceed that, but, they wanted something that showed that I knew that it could. Because of the axle and the frame on this thing. So that was a little interesting thing I ran into. The main box back here of the sleeping area or the occupational area is 12 foot long, 7 foot wide. The overall trailer length is 19 feet. And I believe that's from the end of the spare tire on the back all the way to the tip of the tongue here. I'll go through, this is some stuff that I found in the documentation. I think it's all correct. I'm not 100% sure. It says it has a 12-year roof warranty. I'm assuming that's for leaks and stuff, as long as you don't put any penetrations in yourself. A 3-year structural warranty. A 25-year wood floor warranty, and we're going to crawl under this thing, and I'll show you what's going on under there. A 5-year frame warranty, a 10-year warranty on the torsion axle and suspension, and then a 1-year basic warranty, which kind of sounds like a dealer thing where they're just going to cover anything that's not quite right when you start out. So I'm going to grab the camera and we're going to walk around, and we're going to go around the whole thing. I'm going to show you what I know about it and on the top and everything. So, but since we're right here on the front, let's just do this stuff real quick. 2-inch tongue, or a 2-inch ball for the tongue here, which is fine. You got your regular chains. It does have trailer brakes. So it's got a 7-pin on it. So I had to have that added to my vehicle. The dealer did include a brake controller and the wiring with the purchase of this, so that was good. So it does have trailer brakes. You need to be aware of that. It's got 2 propane tanks in here. It does have and I'll pop this open later, but it does allow it to flip over automatically between the two. When one gets empty or the other gets empty. These were filled, by the dealer when I got it. It's got two battery packs, or a space for 2 batteries in this holder here. Comes with one wet cell 65 amp hour battery. In my negotiations with them, they did upgrade it to 2 65 amp hour wet cell batteries, so that's good. And then it's got, you know, a regular crank. There's, you know, you can add an option to put an electric one on there. To me, this is not a big deal. If you put an electric on, it adds one more thing that can go wrong. So I'm okay without it. That's not a big deal for me. So let me grab the camera and we'll get going around here and get all of the details. Okay, you're gonna have to excuse the lack of steady cam here. I don't have a lot of wild equipment for this stuff, but I've pulled the covers off. They both come off pretty easy. So here's your dual propane tanks, and then it's got this is not actually a valve. This is just an indicator of where, of which side it's pulling from, and then it will turn color when one of the tanks is empty. Both of these tanks are off right now, so I've got full tanks. Here's the batteries. Let me get out of the sunshine there. So, you know, we've got the interstate deep cycle batteries. They're supposed to be 65 amp hours. So we got 2 of those, so that's nice to have. I really do like that. So let's back up here a little bit. So outside here, we do have some LED lighting that's put in, so that's nice if you're trying to hook up or something and you need the tongue. You know, you need to see what's going on with the tongue of the trailer or something. And then one of the things I really liked about this trailer is that the newer, well, not all the models have this front storage area. So it's got this big storage area here. So that's going to be, you know, pretty much the same width of as the trailer. So if we pop that up, there we go. Again, excuse my arms here, but you can see there's quite a bit of storage in here. I mean, actually, like 2 people could climb in there easy, and you know, who knows, surprise somebody or something. But anyways, and it's got 1 door at each end that allows you access into that big cavity under there. So that's going to be a good place for me to put like a canopy and chairs and, you know, water jugs and stuff. It does say, let me pull this down, excuse me again. It does say that it has a 150 pound capacity for that. So that, I'm assuming that's just because of the wood structure or something underneath. You would think it might have a little more than that, but 150 pounds, I don't plan on putting, you know, 15 pounds of horse feed in, or 15 bags of horse feed or some wild thing in there. But anyways, so that's the front end. Let's give me a quick second here, and we're going to go up and we're going to take a look at the top while it's down. Okay, here we are up on the top of the trailer while it's still down. You're going to see we got the two skylights there that are over the dining and seating area, and then you've got the fan back here. You know, I don't know if it's a Fantastic fan, or I'll have to look up and see what model it is, but it's a 3-speed exhaust fan, you know, and that pops up and everything. So that's good. And then you can see there's a big skylight in the back that's over the sleeping area. And then there's this item here, and I think this is I have the ESP package on this unit, and that unit right there is, I believe it's an MC4 connectors for a solar panel. So they have already mounted the unit on the roof, sealed it up, watertight connection, you know, and they used to put, whoa, a little slick up there. That would have been good on video. Right in here in this empty area, they used to put a solar panel up there that was like a stick-on kind, but I think they had problems with them not staying on there. So they went away from that, but they put this on here so that it's solar ready. And then you can see it does have a luggage rack here. It's got a Pro Rack system, 2-rail system, permanently attached. And so that's going to be nice. I don't know that I'm going to like put bicycles and stuff up there. If I needed some extra storage, maybe a cargo container or something. I think what I am going to end up doing with it is I'm going to make me an aluminum bracket right here, and for a 100-watt solar panel that attaches to those rails and then just plugs in. And then eventually, if I do a lot of boondocking, I would extend that rail out with a support on the end and do like 200 watts. But I really do like that feature. I think this rack and that solar connector may be part of the ESP package. You know, like that sticker over there says the Rockwood ESP package. Rockwood is the manufacturer, I believe. Forest River is the brand or something. But anyways, so that's what we got up here on the roof. So let's move around to the side and we'll continue on there. All right, so we're going to move around to the door side here. And that, well, actually, I forgot to mention this one thing on the front. This thing here is called a toy lock, as you can see. And it's a cable that comes out, and it's on a retractable spring in there. And then on the end, it's got this hard pin that lets you put a lock. And they give you a master kind of lock, but it's kind of a thin one, and you know, I wanted something a little more heavy duty. I've got this big master lock that actually fit through the hole, so that's what I'm going to use. But that'll be really nice if you got yourself a generator out here or some bikes or something, and you're going to be gone for the day. You know, you can hook some stuff up to that and lock it, just to make sure it doesn't walk off. You know. So as you can see, just like before, we've got the access hatch on this side for the big storage on the front. You've got a little door here. That is your access to under the seat. There's storage under the seat. So you got a little door there. You've got another door on the inside, and then actually the seat comes up and you can get to the whole thing. So really that little door is probably there if you have some stuff that you need, like when you're setting up. If you've got some jack pads or some wheel chocks or something in there you want to get to, that would, you know, is handy there. That little thing there is just to hold the door open. When you pull that up, holds the door open when when you want it to stay out. So and here's so it's got let's see if I can get back here a little bit. It's got a dual steps here. So let me pull that out and then flip that down. It's got 2 steps. All of the other ones other than the ESP only have a single step, and that's because the ESP is raised up and has 12 inches of ground clearance, which is another reason I like the ESP package. One of the other main things I really like about the ESP package is that it's got these big tires. They got 15-inch aluminum rims on the ESP package instead of like the metal rims and stuff. So I really like that. And the ground clearance and everything. That's going to be really nice. So then, of course, you've got a handle there for stepping in and out. Especially, you know, it's got the extra couple steps, so that's handy. Got another light right here, another LED light. Out here, you've got two 110 connections that are GFI protected from the inside. And then this right here is your outside speaker for the stereo system inside, and then this is the antenna for that stereo system. Then this rail along here, I'll have to pull out the stuff for this, but the rail is for a grill, an outside grill, propane grill. They supply one with the unit. It hooks onto this railing, it latches on, and then, you know, flips down and stays there. And then there's a little side table that you can put on either side of it to hold that. And then this thing down here is actually your propane. It's got a quick disconnect for your propane tank there with a valve. So that's really nice. You can use the propane tanks you have on the front, for this grill, and you don't have to have something else to or have another tank or use the little bottles or something. So I really like that. That's nice. Here's another big storage area. You'll see these little things up here. These are magnets. So when I pull that up, that sticks. So that's a nice little touch. There's a big storage area under here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. That didn't do too bad. It's a big storage area that is accessible from under the bed. But there's a lot of room in there. So that's a nice, I like that storage area there. So let's see, I think that's everything on that side. Walk around to the back. Here's your full-size spare tire, which is also good. I could pull that off, but I'll show you down here too. It's got these, what else I like about these tires is you can see it's got more of an aggressive tread instead of a straight tread on it. They're called mud runners. So I like that just for the dirt and the snow. Obviously you're not counting on, traction for pulling you along or something, but if it gets a little slippery, it'll help its track better and stay on the trail. So I like that. The LED lighting, all of the lights in the back are LEDs, so that's nice. This little unit up here is your Wi-Fi extender. It's supposed to be a pretty good unit. I have not really had a lot of time to play with it, but if you're in an area and they have Wi-Fi available, you can hook that in. It's a bridge is what it is, if you're familiar with that kind of stuff. It's a Wi-Fi bridge. It connects in. It's got a web interface that you can get into from your laptop or your iPad or your tablet of some kind. So you can get into that, and it gives you a stronger signal and everything. So moving around to the other side, same thing. Here's some storage in the back. Something I noticed here, and this is a design thing. Somebody could design this a little bit better. I see the problem with it. I can see that it is a design challenge, but when the roof is down in the down position, this door won't stay open because it can't touch that magnet right there. There's a gap back there. I don't know if you can see it, but it can't touch that magnet because of this handle. So, and this is probably in the spot it's in because of when you calculate out those weights and leverage and all that kind of stuff, it kind of dictates where that goes. So I don't know what the answer is for this. I don't know if they offset that for that reason. Maybe you turn this handle around. I will probably turn the handle. And when this goes up, this arm moves out of the way and it works. It just doesn't work when the top's down. But if you have stuff in here that you want to get to, if you got your jack pads or tools or stuff you want to get to when that's up, or when the roof's down, that's a problem. So this is an interesting feature here in this cabinet. You pull up this little handle here, and this slides out. And of course, this door is going to get in the way. But anyway, this slides out, and you can see I got some tools in here, a couple of plastic bins and gloves and some other. I made this like my tool bin. But after I got to thinking about that and looking at the way it works, from the bottom of this thing to the top lip up under here is 9 inches. And so I'm looking at the size of this plastic container, and I'm going to slide it back in to get it out of the way. I'm looking at the size of that plastic container, and I do a little calculation. So let me get out my piece of paper, if you'll bear with me for 1 second. I get out my measuring tape and I measure that. And if you want to be able to slide that thing in and out, got out my notes here. If you want to be able to slide this thing in and out, you have to have clearance right here. So that means that you can only put something in here that's 9 inches tall. And it's 12 inches wide, and it is 32 inches deep. Reading off of my notes. That's 2 cubic feet of space. Okay, so that's fine. It slides out. It's handy to get to the stuff in the back. There's no doubt about that. So it is a nice little feature. But storage is always a thing on, when you're camping, or in your vehicle, wherever. So I haven't done anything with this yet. I've only had it almost 3 weeks. Haven't done any camping with it. I haven't done anything with this unit yet. But when I take that out, if I take out the brackets that are underneath that thing, and then I recheck my measurements without that in there and without its plastic brackets in there, there's 8.15 cubic feet of space in there. And you can't access that from inside because it's underneath the bed. And you'll see later the way the bed lifts up, you really can't get to that space. And it's also screwed down. So I mean, without that in there, you might have to lean in there and stick your head in there to get something that's in the back. But that's a huge difference to go from 2 cubic feet to 8.1 cubic feet. So chances are that is going to come out of there. I like the fact that it slides in and out. It's got a little locking spot down there to put it. I can't see giving up 6 cubic feet for the convenience of something that slides out a little bit, you know. So anyways, this big unit here, this is your air conditioner and a heat pump. It also has a heat pump. That's going to run off of 110 only. So, but that'll be nice to have if I'm someplace, or if I have a generator with me. You know, it all depends. So, of course, right here you got your water fill, fresh water fill. It's got a 20-gallon freshwater tank underneath. This is a little connector for a TV. It's got the little coax screw on there, if you can see that. So there's another one of those inside if you want to put a TV in. That's probably not going to happen for me. If I want to watch TV, which I don't do much of anyway, I'll do it at home. This is your drain for your sink inside. This does not have gray water tank or black water tanks. This is the only thing that's really using the water, and that's going to drain out of there. You're just going to put a short hose onto that into some kind of gray water container that you take with you, and then you go and dump it in the appropriate spot. Here's your city water connector, just like it says on the label. And then this is your shower, an external shower. So this is a nice little feature. Let me see if I can find the key for that without... there we go. So yeah, this does have a hot water heater in it, a 6-gallon hot water heater. So you've got hot and cold water and a little shower there. So you can put up a little shower tent thing here, or you just come out here in a bathing suit and take this out, latch it on there, turn on the hot water on the inside, and that'll be nice. So I like that feature on there. One thing I don't like, I guess I can say I don't like. I don't want it to sound like I'm being overly negative or anything, but and I realize the manufacturer of these things are reliant on the manufacturers of the appliances. But the refrigerator, the only way to access the refrigerator is to take off these panels. You know, you twist the little thing, you're supposed to do it with a screwdriver, then you pop these out, and then back here is your controls where you're going to be able to set. And you take out the lower one, I think, for the gas. So it's a 3-way refrigerator. It runs on 120, 12, and on propane. From everything I've read and from talking to the service gentleman at the dealer where I got it, you're probably never going to use that 12-volt one because it takes so much power to run this thing. You're just not going to do it. So this is my point. Getting into there to have to turn it on and off is a pain, but obviously they're reliant on the manufacturer of the unit. And that, it's probably the easiest way to put the controls on there, but I don't know, just not happy about that. It's just a little bit of a pain. But I guess if you're going to turn it on, it's going to stand for a while. Here's your exhaust and intake, I think, for your hot water heater. So that's good. This is also a nice little feature here. This is a high pressure sprayer. And I'm sure it's just high pressure because of the nozzle there. I can't show you the nozzle, but there's a little hand nozzle in there with a quick disconnect on it. But that's for, you got boots and you got bicycles and you got, whatever, hiking gear or ATVs or something that are just totally covered in mud, or even the unit. If the unit's covered in mud or the front's got some stuff on it, you can plug into that, turn on your pump, and you have something that's putting out some, a little higher pressure water. So I like that feature. That's a nice little add-on. Here's your connector, as you can see, maybe 30 amps, 125 volts. So you put it on there, twist lock, and then they supply you with a cable. I think it's a 25-foot cable. I'm not real positive on that. And it's got a screw-on outer rim that lets you screw onto there so that just doesn't pop off by accident or something. So I like that. There, and of course, this one here is then going to be your furnace. Your furnace is going to run runs on propane, and I think the fan runs on 12 volts. So you're kind of good to go there. And lastly, you can see I've got a little solar panel here, and the sun has already moved since I started. But this was included with the trailer. I don't know if they include them with all of the trailers or not. I don't know if you can see that. It's a Zamp Solar 40-watt solar panel. Now, this is you don't want to confuse this with what you're doing up on the roof. It comes with a nice case to hold it in, but if we look around the back here, let me move that, get you around the back. If you can see this, this has, I don't know if you can see the light, but it says it's charging. So this has a solar controller already on it. It's got the solar controller built into it, and then the wire runs around, and there's a little 2-prong plug right here in the front, right here. And that, my understanding is that's just a direct connection to the battery. So you can plug in portable solar that already has a solar controller. You can plug that into the outside through that little jack to charge your batteries. So, if you're not doing a lot of boondocking, or you only do a little bit, then this is probably good. You set this out, you leave it out all day, and it tops off your batteries so that you can run your lights and charge your cell phone or whatever, and run the hot water heater and stuff. So that's a nice add-on. It's a nice little solar panel. It's got a nice little adjustable angle brackets on the back, and then it all rolls up and goes into that little bag, and you stick it inside. So I really like that. So we've gone through the top, we've gone through the side, and some of that stuff is covered with normal videos. Definitely not as extensive as I've kind of gone through. But now we're going to crawl underneath and we're going to look around. That may be a little hard to watch on the video, but we're going to do it because there's a few things under there that you might want to see, that you might want to know about. So let's do that. Let me get some cardboard or something, and we'll crawl under there and we'll take a look. All right, we're back, and this is where it's going to get a little tricky. Crawling around underneath and trying to point stuff out and trying to handle the microphone and everything, but we'll get through it. I got my notes here too. So here's your jacks, your stabilizer jacks. There's 4 on this unit, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, so you don't have to rely on just the front tongue wheel or tongue jack to stabilize it for you. One nice thing about these, and maybe they do this on all the newer ones, I don't know, but I was told this was something. See if I can block out the sun a little bit. You can see here, these jacks are bolted onto the frame. They used to be welded onto the frame. If you caught one of these or something, there we go, get it to adjust. If you caught one of these on a rock or a stump or something, and bent it or screwed it up and had to have it replaced, you would have to have it cut off and then ground down, and then maybe some welding done or whatever to get it put back on. So that's not that great. But here we are. This is going to be tough with the sun coming in. All right, I'm going to try and point this out. So down here is your propane connection. You can see it runs through there all the way up through here. That is a copper line, and it's covered in some of this hard plastic, hard plastic covering. So that's kind of nice. You can see it taps in over here and splits off. Let me try and think about this for a second. So this one would be going to your furnace, and then you're going to have one going to your hot water heater, and another one going to your stove. Your indoor stove. And then the last one is going to wind around and go out to your outside grill that we talked about. What else can we look at under here? Right here, you can see this is the flooring we were talking about with the warranty. This is some kind of a treated OSB. If you're not familiar with plywood, that's oriented strand board. You can see it's got different pieces of wood that are shavings of wood or whatever, but they're all like laid flat and glued together, and it's called oriented strand board. Here's all of our wiring under here. let me see if there's, yeah, let's spin around here if I can without making anybody sick. And without crushing my audio. You can see the axle here. This, I'll have to, I don't know if I've got the stats in my pocket or where in the hell they are. I'll look it up for you later. But, so it's got electric brakes. Here's your drums back here with your electric brakes. It's got the torsion arms here. And like I said, it's got the big 15-inch tires with the aluminum wheels. Right here you can see this is your 20-gallon fresh water tank. Looks like it runs all along up in here. So that's nice. It's got a quick drain right here. You can see it angles down so that it's kind of the lower side. So in the winter, I'll be able to jack that side of the trailer up to make sure it all runs down and open that valve up. And then I'll know I got that tank empty. And there's some other features for winterizing, and we'll try and go over those when we go inside. But it looks like a good frame. I mean, this is a 4, well, this is even bigger. I don't know what that is. That's either a 6 or an 8-inch frame there. It's got some good framing on there. I know the tongue is like a 4-inch tubular framing. So it looks like it's pretty well built under here. I don't know a ton about trailers, but I've owned a few in my time. Not necessarily campers, but trailers in general. So this one's not too bad. You know, it's not flimsy. It's not super flimsy steel. You know, it's halfway decent. But, you know, you also have to have weight considerations. It's like this isn't made for hauling, you know, my ATVs. You know, just for supporting us when we're inside of it, and that's about it. So that's about it. That's it for under here. We got the 4 jacks. I want to oil those up, and made my own jack pads that aren't under there. I'll probably do a video on that as well. There's a bird that I never noticed before. That's probably like a 20 amp breaker or something. That may be running for the inverter or something. This does come with an inverter, and we'll talk about some of the electronics when we go inside. So let's crawl out of here, and I'll show you how the thing pops up, which I'm sure you've seen in other videos, but we'll do it real quick. Then we'll go inside, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go top to bottom. We're going to talk about the different stuff that's inside and some of the stats on it, what I've looked up, because I also looked up like amp draws and stuff like that. So let's go in and do that. Get off the ground here. Okay, let's pop this thing up and get it going. There's the hold downs right here on the sides. I've already popped that one off. There's one on the other side as well that you take off, so you know, it kind of ratchets that or levers that down. That off like that, and then there's a little note here that says lift here to raise, and then there's another note here on the other side that says lift here and release to lower. And actually somebody did some decent engineering on this, because it does go up and down really easily. I was impressed the first time I did it. So once you get it going, you kind of lift that up. We have on the other side, you saw we had those like hydraulic assists on the other side. So that's very helpful. But we pop this up, give it a push, and it locks into place. There's a groove up there there's a groove on that piece, and then there's a protrusion on this one that pops into there. So I pushed it up, it popped right in, and it's up now. So the interesting thing about it is because of the way it's designed with that little chamfer and stuff, when I push this side up, that side doesn't have anything to hold, and gravity pulls it back down for closing. So if I push this up like that, I don't know if those are wheels or they're just nylon runners, but it just comes right back down as soon as you pop it up and that groove comes out. So I think that's a really good design. It works very well, and it's not that heavy. I mean, my wife could do it. She would strain on it a little bit because it is a little bit heavy. You know, it's not like it's feather feather light or whatever. But oh, I don't know if you can see the hound dog. We got the hound dog here. I think he's excited to go camping. He doesn't know what camping is, but when he can chase the bunnies and the squirrels, he'll be happy. So we're going to unlock it. It's got like a regular handle lock, and then it's got a little deadbolt down here. So you open that up, and then we lift up the door. And if you've watched other videos, you've already seen this. This is nothing new to you. But we want to lift this up. The key is to watch this edge here, that it doesn't bang on this. The walls are not very heavy either. So I lift this up, just making sure it doesn't hit. And then there's some cams in here, kind of like a cam lock kind of thing. So I just push it out and lock it into place. And I'll show you how that works. I'll bring the camera in and show you how that works. But the other side is just the same. You probably can't see it through the window there. But the other side is just the same. So we're going to have the same thing with the other side. You just lift that up, put it into place, and then there's a cam lock right there, and there's another lock right over here. It's up, it's locked, it's ready to go. Okay, so now we're on the inside. We got one cam left here. So when I push that in, it goes into that little notch there, and then you push it in. Push it out, push it out. It's got a rubber gasket up in here that helps seal that, so you have to push it out a little bit, and you pop that down and it's locked in. So it has one of those on each side. Here's another one here. So you lock those in on that side, and you come around and you lock them in on this side as well. If anybody has done this before, you'll notice I made one mistake earlier when I was doing this. Let me close the door. And since I've only done it a couple of times, got the little latch on it out here. So we're gonna unlatch that, go back inside. The problem was, as before, the door splits in half right here. And actually, I mean, it's kind of nice because you could just open that up and just have a half door if it was really nice out and you wanted to have a lot of air. The door has a little window in it, and then there's a window or the other windows have screens in them and stuff. But anyways, the point was, before you put up this wall on this side with the door, you have to close that door. I didn't close it, and then once I put it up, I couldn't close it because this upper door has a lip on the outside. So you have to close that bottom door before you pop it up. Just something I failed to do right there. Okay, so I'm sitting on the bed right now. You can see that this is made up into a bed at the moment. This is how it has to be when you travel because of the way the sides come down and everything. But the cushions all flip up, and then there's a table under there that makes, or the table that's holding the center part up, makes up into a table. And we'll do that real quick so that we can get under there and start showing you some of the stuff starting at the bottom. Okay, let's flip this up real quick. Actually, let's just move this over. Let me grab the camera here for a little bit of motion sickness. But let me show you how this works. Slide that off. So outside, you'll remember I talked about there was a little access port that you could get to this storage. And then on this side, on the inside, there's a bigger door. There's the little door back over there. So there's some nice seating under there. And you have access to it from the inside like this, in case you didn't want to pick up the seat or go outside and mess with that hatch. All right, so we looked at the side one down here, but you can see there's a thing here, and this is hinged. So you can really the best way to get to this compartment is from the inside. And there's some decent storage under there. Like I mentioned, you could put a few things right there that you might need to get to before it's all popped up. But that's a good storage space there. I like that. And then you can see the table right here. It's just a Formica topped table, and we'll pull that up and show you a little bit about that. Let me get you back up here on the camera mount. All right. Okay, let's put this up. That goes there. There's a Velcro strip here and some little tabs right there to just hold that up. You can see there's a cloth flap here that covers this main hinge, and it also helps with like condensation and stuff. When the moisture builds up in here, if it's cold outside, you'll get moisture on that as well. So let me pop up the other side. Pop that up like that. And then this table sits in here. One thing I really do like about this table is that, hopefully you can see this, the legs, it's got like regular table legs on it that fold out, and you can set it here, but you can move it around. You know, it could be pushed to one side or the other, or I could just pick it up and take it outside, and I could use it out there as a table. It doesn't have to be just in here. So I really do like that feature. For right now, I'm just going to move it out of the way so that we can continue to look at this stuff.